You can run, but you cannot hide.
Stupid.
Yo, you don't even know what stupid is! It's about to get all stupid up in here!
To this Leroy Dragons!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
That's what she said!
Welcome in to another Red Out podcast. I am Jake. How are you doing, Devin?
Doing good. Got some deja vu.
X gon' give it to you. Wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. With the non-stop pop from stainless steel. Go hard getting busy with it. But I got such a good heart that I make the mother wonder if you did it.
Welcome back, guys, to another Red Out podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Devin, and how about it, Jake? Oh, sorry, Jake's not here. I hate to tease y'all like that, but I'm going to be flying solo tonight, so hope y'all get to enjoy me squirm and fret as I try to do this by myself again. It's kind of starting to be a bad habit. I'm going to have to get on to Jake about that, but, you know, life happens, so just want to go ahead and throw out a little disclaimer here that the audio that you heard on the intro is not owned or distributed as a work of Red Out. We do not claim to own them, but are using them for educational purposes only. This is not for distribution or selling. So let's just go ahead and jump into it here, guys. We are covering Western athletics, and if you're enjoying what you're hearing, go ahead and smash that like button, crush it, smack it, push it. Just don't break your computer and try and blame me. So hit that and subscribe to our podcast and give us some support here so that we're seeing, hey, you guys are enjoying what you're hearing, so let's go for it. First off, let's talk a little golf. I know I'm going to put you to sleep first thing, but here we go. Sarge with the Hilltopper men's finished 4th in Arkansas. The Lady Toppers finished 2nd at the Idle Hour Collegiate Championship. And we're going to jump to soccer real quick. Lady Topper, Rosalind, Leon, and Bishop, and Chua pick up Conference USA accolades, as well as 2 young ladies who, Rosalind and Gorham, they earned Conference USA All-Academic honors. So, gotta love that, ladies. Y'all going out there and hitting the books hard. You know, that's what you're there for, to get an education, so might as well take use of it, right? I'm going to jump into Lady Topper volleyball. Looks like Miss Engel earns her 5th Defensive Player of the Week award this season. That young lady is playing her tail off. Gotta love it. And another thing, Lady Topper volleyball is ranked 25th. Gotta love it, right? That is so exciting right there. That finally our young ladies are getting the acknowledgement from the polls, the coaches, whoever's voting there, and they're finally getting recognition. So you gotta love that, right? Looks like baseball has released their full 2018 schedule, and if you'll give me just a second here, I'll maybe have it pulled up. Oh, great, they have it in paragraph form instead of just listed like I was hoping they would. Looks like we got West Virginia, March 2nd to 4th. That's going to be cold. Sorry, guys. I did not prep this. It came out late, and I didn't notice it. Looks like they're going to open up the season with Memphis, February 16th to 18th. Good gravy. You know that's going to be cold. They're going to be series at Memphis, so it might be a little warmer for them. Then they're going to host Northern Illinois, 23rd to the 25th in February. That's a 3-game, another one. Sorry, baseball fans. I am not a big baseball guy, so when y'all have series, I'm completely lost. WKU is going to host an in-state Power 5 rival at BG Ballpark. It's going to be the regular season champion, Louisville, on March 20th, so hey, y'all come enjoy that. Wonder if they're going to have any Adidas cleats on. Sorry. Couldn't resist. Sorry, Jake. I know you're going to be having a response on that. Bring it, buddy. Couldn't resist. The other premier midweek matchups for the Hilltoppers. Looks like they're going to go to Kentucky. We'll be waiting for basketball season on that one. It's going to be February 27th. Vanderbilt, April 10th. Louisville, April 24th. playing Belmont. February 20th at home. March 6th away. They're going to play Eastern. Ooh, sorry if that golf talk got me all sleepy here all of a sudden. We're going to be hosting a Big 12 team at the Nick, quote. Yeah, sorry, that was the coach's quote there. Looks like Conference USA portion of the schedule is mirrored from 2017. We're going to host MTSU March 16th to 18th. UTSA, March 29th to 31st, Marshall, April 13th to 15th, Louisiana Tech, April 27th to 29th, and FIU, May 11th to the 13th. That means Western's going to go on road trips to Rice, March 23rd to 25th, Southern Miss, April 6th to 8th, UAB, April 20th to 22nd, Charlotte, May 4th to 6th, FAU, May 17th to 19th, yeah, and looks like Western's going to finish in the Sunshine. They're going to finish up in the Sunshine State, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be playing everybody except for Old Dominion, leading into the 2018 Conference USA tournament from the 23rd to the 27th in Mississippi. I'm guessing that's Biloxi, Mississippi. So, hey, good luck, guys. We'll probably be covering you then. If not, I'm sorry. Looks like, let's jump into basketball real quick here. WKU played Samford. Western did really well. Looks like Western also played Campbellsville since the last time we did a podcast. They played Wednesday. We had technical issues last night, so it's life, so be it. So we're going to work on that, get Jake back here as soon as he can find a charger for his computer. But it looks like the Hilltoppers rolled to a 92-51 victory over visiting Campbellsville, which, hey, I'm good with that. And what Jake was telling me earlier is that Western beat them 60 or 70 points last year. I'm sorry, I don't follow round ball as much. I follow football. Even when I was at Western, I didn't follow basketball very much. So, hey, congratulations to the men's in the exhibition match, or game there, sorry. Hopefully this team is going to be awesome. And from what Jake's been talking about, he's super excited for basketball season. And it's kind of making me excited too, so we'll see how it goes. Looks like, but with the Samford game, I've got a few stats here I'm going to briefly touch on, and I think Jake said he's going to have a response to my post, so we'll see how it goes. WKU 26 of 46, that's 56.5% from the field, 5 of 12 on three-pointers, and 21 of 35 on free throws. And the words of my grandfather, who played at Allen County way back in the day, free throws is where you win ball games. WKU had 26 points from turnovers, 5 second chance points, 19 fast break points. Largest lead was 19 with 3 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the second half. Samford had 16 points off turnovers. So, hey, you got to capitalize on that, even in basketball, right? Football is a big thing for us right now since we're hip deep in football season, but you get points off turnovers, you win games. So, it looks like, secondly, congratulations, Western. I'm guessing Jake's going to have some more basketball stuff for you next week, so hopefully we'll get everything pushed then. WKU versus FAU. I was really dreading this, guys. Not necessarily the game, because I love watching Western play. I bleed red. Trust me. If I cut myself, I can prove it. But don't do that. That's not appropriate. Don't cut yourselves. But I was disappointed with the effort, guys. Love watching you guys play. Tops are my favorite team. Got Western stuff everywhere, and I was just really disappointed with it. I didn't catch the first half. I caught the second half. Third quarter was amazing, okay? We were doing good, and then we hit 28 points, and it was just like a light went off, and everybody said, uh-oh, we can't do this. Let me tell you what, guys, that drives me nuts, is to look in people's eyes and just know they've lost. And it's like, you haven't lost anything yet. Get in there and fight. Go win this game. and, pull ahead. FIU did it. They beat Marshall, top team in the league, in the conference, excuse me, and they beat Marshall. Hey, it can happen. Don't put yourselves down. Don't do this stuff. We can, you can win. We could have won that game easily, and it just didn't go for us. So, looking at stats here, the fourth quarter was disappointing. You could just see it on everybody's faces. They were just automatically defeated, and it's so frustrating to watch. The big thing for me is effort, and I did not see it. I saw effort in the first half. I saw how the guys pushed, and they did well, and the crippling play in my mind was the punt that we did not even try and go after. Now, that's partly coaching, don't get me wrong, but at the same track here, that's got to be on the guys. You have got to challenge the punter. He has got to feel like, hey, there's no way that I can run this. And he ran it like 20 yards downfield. I can look up specific stats here, but I don't think I need to. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm fighting a cold. I hate fall just because of that. Temperature's great. Allergies are awful. Just part of it, guys. Looks like, let's talk about stats here real quick. Mike White, 32 of 56, 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. His interceptions were big. Let's see here. Let me figure out something real quick. Sorry, guys. I hate to do this, especially since I don't have somebody to back me up. And yeah, it's 57%. That's not bad for completions, considering how many times he throws a game. Ja'Cory Moses, 11 carries, 42 yards. He's actually back on top. That's really surprising, considering the past 2 weeks before he's actually been like number 3 or 4 on carries. Furby, 9 carries, 35 yards, 1 TD. Baker, 8 carries, 22 yards, no TDs. Eccles Looper, 60. God, I wish he had 60 receptions. 6 receptions, 70 yards, 1 TD. Yelder, who's a beast, and I love this guy. Week in and week out, he is a dependable Jack Doyle Gronk style tight end who's always pulling them in, and Ezekiel Elliott style, he's eating it up. Nom, 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 nom. So you got to love that. And Mr. Sloan comes back in for 4 receptions, 61 yards. Longest was 32 for him. So, hey, gotta love it, guys. Looks like, actually, Jernigan did pretty well, too. He had 3 receptions, 40 yards. And that young man has just came out of nowhere. Excuse me, it sounds like I'm slobbering everywhere. Total yards, passing, WKU 371 yards versus FAU of 93 yards. Rushing, WKU 99 yards, FAU 368. Let me tell you first one thing, okay? I know I said I was disappointed with Western's effort, and I stand behind that for the fourth quarter. Everything else, the guys did awesome. But Devin Singletary will be in the pros next year. That young, if next year or the year after, he is an awesome running back. But at the same time, Lane Kiffin is running off his coattails. Lane Kiffin is not worth. I have nothing for that man, okay? Let's just say that. And, it looks like Devin Singletary is a sophomore. So he's still got a couple years left if he finishes out. But at the same time, Lane Kiffin is not worth anything. I'm sorry. This guy's bounced from team to team, from Tennessee, Oakland, offensive coordinator at Alabama, and he was at Southern California. I mean, he's just riding his daddy's coattails. All right, his daddy was a coach in the pros too. Whoop-de-doo. I have no love for that guy. He is nothing but a capital D, and you can figure out whatever else you want to add in there. I have nothing for him. He is useless. And at that same aspect, the announcers for the game on Saturday, sorry. We've had Friday games, and it's throwing me off. the announcers for that game were completely pro FAU, and that is so annoying, guys. You're supposed to be impartial here. Come on. And the whole time it's like, well, FAU this and FAU that. Well, guess what, dude? FAU is not that good. FAU's going to get stomped. And I'm hoping Marshall does it. I am not a fan of Marshall because, as we've talked before, Jake almost got me in a fight with a guy at the Western Marshall Championship game several years back. But at the same time, I hope Marshall crushes them because they need to. That team is not worth it. And looking at Conference USA standings, Western's dropped to 4. FIU, who just beat Marshall, jumped to 2nd, which, I'm sorry, guys. It's any given Saturday, okay? Anybody can come out and whip anybody's tail on any given Saturday. Probably except for Bama. But everybody else has a chance. Clemson, Alabama, Clemson can beat Bama. Georgia, Bama, Georgia can beat Bama, Western beating Bama, it's a little more of a stretch. But it could happen, okay? These things are not uncommon. So when we play these next few games, we're going to be playing teams like, Vandy and FIU and Marshall and MTSU. We can still finish out this season over 500 record. Okay, for those of you who don't know what that is, that means we have, 7 wins, 5 losses. And we can look back at all those losses and say, hey, we shouldn't have lost that game. But the past is the past. We have to learn from it. And as one of my former football coaches said, the sun will rise tomorrow, and it is a game in the end. So don't take life too seriously. You guys that are in college right now and maybe that are listening to this or playing for the team or whatever, we are 100% behind you. Always remember that. But I am a sports analyst amateur, and I'm going to get on here and I'm going to speak my opinion, okay? Let's see here. Western actually held, they had 4 turnovers, which, like I was talking in the basketball segment there, that is killer. You cannot have that many turnovers unless you're UK playing Tennessee. Happened last week. UK, 4 turnovers. Still won. Those guys are good, okay? Anybody that says otherwise, now, granted, UK football not being good is a usual thing around here, and that's why I'm a Western fan for the most part, because I like football, love football, but at the same time, you cannot have 4 turnovers. Western actually held FAU to probably the fewest yards except for the MTSU game. Western held FAU to 461 yards. Western had 470 yards. If you look at the stats, I'm sure you're going to be like, sorry, I just saw something pop up on the WKU football feed. Who is that? Sorry, guys. Looks like FAU had 461 yards against Western. They had 804 yards against North Texas. Okay, first off, either the West is really weak or North Texas has no defense. ODU, they had 550, and I was almost fixing to say that Western held them to the most yards, the least amount of yards, I should say. But then I looked at the MTSU yardage, and they had 439 yards against MTSU. And in my notes, I still hate Lane Kiffin, highlighted, underlined, bold, and italicized. So, that'll be alright, right? Who is this? Oh, okay. Mr. Darden is on scholarship to Corian Darden. Congratulations, buddy. Mr. Darden has come on scholarship. I'm sorry, I was reading the feed from the Twitter account on WKU football, and it said not just a good story, and my brain just was like, oh no, that just went awful. But it is a good story. Young man was a walk-on at Western, and now he is under scholarship for the Tops. So, hey, I love those stories. Let me tell you, anytime that those young men, walk-ons have all the work that the guys on scholarship have, but at the same time they get none of the benefits. So they have got to work their tails off to get where they get. And hey, gotta love it. Give them some claps for you. Our next opponent is an SEC bottom feeder in Vanderbilt. I know they're really smart guys down there, but historically they are not a football team. Actually, they did have Aaron Rodgers' little brother for a little while. So, hey, gotta love that. I'm a Packers fan. You'll have to forgive me. Right now, WKU Vandy line sits at 9.5 according to Brad Stevens. But let's see here. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Come on now. Looks like, where are we at? Ooh, okay. Sorry, the matchup predictor was 50-50, but that's not even close. Looks like Vandy's set at 80% and WKU's at 19.9. The spread's at 10.5. Money line's at 420, so those of you who are gamblers know if you bet 100, you get 420. If you bet it on Vandy, whatever. So, I'm not betting on that. Sorry, guys. Actually, well, okay. There's a lot of stuff to read into here on the stats on Vandy. Western's points per game is higher at 27. Vandy's got 23 points allowed per game. Vandy allows 30.8. Western allows 22.8. So Western's got the advantage there. However, Western has not played the teams that Vandy has played either, so you have to take that into account. Total yards, Western's at 392, Vandy's at 314, yada, yada, yada. Looks like Western and Vandy have a lot of similarities here. Western passes like, let me figure this up real quick, guys. I know this is bad radio or podcasting, but just 2 seconds here. Sorry. I cannot do regular math. 309.4 yards passing divided by 392.6. So Western throws the ball 78% of the time, leaving 22. I don't know. I can't do math in my head. Yeah, 22%. Sorry. So let's see here. Vandy throws the ball 220 yards per game. 314. They throw it 70% of the time. So there's 8% there where Western is throwing more than they are. Yards allowed, Vandy has allowed 409. Who have they played? South Carolina lost. They lost to Ole Miss, which was bad. Oh my gosh. 57-35, and Ole Miss is junk this year. Lost to Georgia, 45-14. That was a given. Lost to Florida, 38-24. Florida's number 21 in the nation, which is junk. Let me tell you what, Florida, they ain't worth a flip this year. They've gotten lucky a lot. Number 1 Alabama beat them 59-0. Don't know what they did to make Nick Saban mad there, but not good. So, yeah, that's what we got to look forward to, guys. Vanderbilt, we're going down there, so we're going to be in Nashville, fun town to go to, and play Vandy. Looks like I was going to tell you some stats on their quarterback, Mr. Schumer. He's 128 attempts, 233 attempts, 128 completions, 1,664 yards, 18 TDs, 3 interceptions. That's compared to Mike White, 214, 327, 28 yards, 14 TDs, and 6 interceptions. Mike White has obviously more passing yards, less TDs, more interceptions. So that's a little discouraging, but hey, whatever. Looks like their running back has more yards than Baker, who's our leader. Deion Yelder's our leading receiver, which, hey, he's earned it. That guy's love watching Deion Yelder play. He's, like I said last week, he is the whack-a-mole. Gotta love it. Jumps up, whoop, got it. Disappears, which I don't know how legal that would be to burrow underground. But anyway, let's skip ahead here, guys, and we're going to talk a little WKU history. kind of running out of segments here in our WKU history department for football. When I get to basketball, I'll have some more stuff to talk about history. But I do have a couple more guys in the last few episodes of the season here. And I think it's important to understand who is around WKU football and who has helped to shape the football program at Western. And so far we've talked about Jack Harbaugh, Jimmy Fikes, who else? Like Willie Taggart, David Elson, I know we've mentioned Jeff Brom, Bobby Petrino. These guys have all in some way, shape, or form shaped how WKU football has come to be what it is today. And we're going to talk about a guy here who has shaped WKU athletics off the field. And usually if you see this guy coming, it's never good, okay? This guy is Bill Edwards. He's a former boss of mine and lifelong friend. He is, we always had a nickname for each other. We were old roomies because when I would go on football trips, I was the only male trainer for several years there, and they would stick me and Doc E together to try and save some money. So, hey, you got to do what you got to do when you're a struggling football team. Fun story, Doc E I would be in the room asleep, and Doc E would come in an hour or two later. It's just funny. If you know the guy, you would be like, really? But, yeah, okay. Sorry, Jenny, if you're listening. But Doc E he came to the Hill in 1970, where he was a student athletic trainer under the first full-time athletic trainer, Russell Miller. It's a tradition for freshmen not to travel, and Doc E carried that tradition on when he became the head athletic trainer. And so when my first home game, we played Georgia back in 2006. And Doc E told me the story of his first home game. He was in the training room cleaning tables, listening to the game. I mean, that's dedication right there. And that dedication led to 47 years of work with Western. I'll try and briefly go through here and talk about Doc E. Doc E was president of his fraternity from 73 to 74. He got his ATC license, athletic trainer certified. He got his certified license in 1975. Just a fun fact for you, Doc E is one of the few trainers in Kentucky, because you get your license through the state, who has a single-digit number. I think he's like 9. I mean, that's amazing right there. He was named head athletic trainer in 1983 and has served there ever since. He has built the sports medicine department up from 3 athletic trainers to 12 certified trainers for 16 sports teams. He also is a teacher. He teaches on the Hill. He teaches at the athletic training course. And for those of you who are in the exercise science department, you can take that class, and I highly recommend it. It's really cool. Doc E was initiated into the Kentucky Athletic Trainer Society Hall of Fame in 2010 and a board of director for the Alumni W Club since 1996. And after 47 years, think about that for a second, 47 years, that's longer than I've been alive, sorry Doc, he retired in 2016. And just for you all wondering what Doc E's doing now, he is working for the football department. He works 2 days a week. Got an awesome setup there. Coach Sanford's really set him up. He works Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he said his hardest part of his job is remembering what he did on Thursday when he comes to work on Tuesday. First off, there's a couple little secrets here for those of you new to who Bill Edwards or Doc E is. Doc is not his legal title. So those of you that are thinking that Doc E is an actual doctor, that's not true. Doc E is a title given to him over several years. And another fun fact for you, Doc E has been on the Hill longer than Big Red. So maybe we should have Doc E running around doing the mascot stuff. Completely kidding there. I just want to read a real quick statement that he gave for his retirement. As I close out my career, I am extremely indebted to my mentor and our first full-time athletic trainer, Russell Miller, who extended to me an offer to become a student athletic trainer in the fall of 1970. I have been so fortunate to work at my alma mater my entire career, through 5 presidents, 9 athletic directors, 7 years with basketball, 47 years with football, 8 football coaches, and 533 football games. It's time for a new chapter. That's one part of his speech. If you want to read a little more, you can Google search Bill Edwards, athletic trainer retiring, and it should bring up the WKO page, and it'll go from there. But I just want to say on a personal note, Docky is a big mentor of mine. He is a huge friend, and I believe if I called him today, he would do whatever he could to help me, and that just speaks volumes to the Christian influence that he has on people and the way he goes out of his way to do things for individuals. And I want to say that he was probably the very best boss I have ever had in my entire life, and I just am extremely indebted to him for what he did for me and at my time on the Hill. And if he ever needed anything from me, I would be glad to drop whatever I was doing and go help him, because I know he would do the same. And so, guys, I'm going to leave you with that. If you would, please like and subscribe to our podcast. We're working on getting on the Apple iTunes podcast. They're going to go through the long, boring process of being vetted, or whatever you want to call for that. And hopefully we'll be able to get on there soon. And we are on Podomatic. We are redout.podomatic.com. We'll tweet it out later, and if you would, like and follow us on Twitter. So, thanks, guys, and would love to have y'all send questions or whatever you want to do. Thanks for your support, and good night.